I'd like to call to order the September 2017 meeting of the Lafayette Common Council. Please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk conduct a roll call?
Heidi.
Here.
Blinker.
Here.
Reynolds.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Allersmeyer.
Here.
Williamson.
Here.
Downing.
Here.
Nargi. Quorum present.
Okay. You've received the August 7th, 2017 minutes. Are there any corrections to those minutes? Do I have a motion to accept them as,
So moved.
and a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, presentation and disposal of claims.
There are none.
Presentation of petitions and communications.
There are none.
Reports of city offices on file in the city clerk's office.
Waterworks Department monthly July, Police Department July, Fleet Maintenance monthly July, and Lafayette Renew monthly July.
Okay, and all these reports are on file at the city's clerk's office and can be viewed during regular business hours. Okay, there are no ordinances for second reading, ordinances for first reading.
Ordinance 2017-29, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from R2 and NB to NBU, 1621 Cassuth Street, Triple R LLC petitioner.
Okay.
Excuse me, do we need a recess for a public hearing of some sort?
So we have to set some public hearings tonight for next week. Or next month, excuse me.
Oh, good enough,
Yeah,
okay, good.
okay. Okay, do I have a motion for this ordinance, 2017-29?
Madam
I
President,
move to hear and approve ordinance 2017-29.
Okay, and we have a second?
Second.
Second, okay. Anybody come to speak to this? Okay.
Mr. Bumbleberg.
Mr. Bumbleberg.
Thank you. I'm Joe Bumbleberg with Ball Eggleston. I represent the petitioner in this matter. I have placed before all of you an aerial photograph of this half city block. The lot that we are talking about in this is this one right here in the middle that's empty, except for the junk that's piled on it.
Has the blue around it?
And so that's the one we're talking about. This is the Triple R is the corporate name, but that's Jeff Ryder. Jeff is here with me this evening, and most of you likely know Jeff, and if you don't know him personally, you probably have seen some of he and his family and company's work in the restoration and rehabilitation of some of the older places here in town, and they do good work. So the first thing he has in his stead for this petition is his reputation stands behind the fact that when he says we'll do a good job, we will. He means that. This piece of property is a rezone from R2 and NB to NBU. We discussed this with this Plan Commission and talked about NBU, which is that urban classification that came about after we got rid of the LV zones. This thing is R2, and that has to be an old zoning remnant too, because clearly to put a duplex or a multifamily in here would certainly not be appropriate. What he wants to do here is to build a building, 2,400 square feet, 448 square feet of it will be office. The rest will be storage and will be just storage. I guess storage would be the best way to do it. He has a tenant that he believes that will enter into this building. It's another company made up of people who are local. It's called My Guys Hunting and Conditioning, and so that's all set out in his plan. Like I say, the current zoning of R2 simply makes no sense. The Area Plan Commission heard our petition recently and passed this 14-0. The building was torn down several years ago, and you have the photo, and I don't think, frankly, there's much more for me to say, and except that if I got one phone call on this thing when I sent it out, and I never have been sure whether Dave Ferguson was calling me just to talk to me and pass the time of day, or whether he was really interested in this problem. And those of you who know Dave would understand what I just said. So if you have any questions, Jeff is here, and we'll try to field those for you.
Okay, any questions and concerns from council members?
They recommended NBU. What is,
That's an urban classification, Mr. Campbell, that we created in the last rezoning cycle of amendments. And it's designed for the urban area, and it has a creation of special use systems, like how close to the street, different parking than the NB zone. So it's a zone peculiar to the urban part of the community. And it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
It was the substitute ultimately for what we all thought of, us old-timers, local business. Yes.
Mr. Bumbleberg, does that mean that the plan is to have the property built closer to the street and the parking in the back off the alley then?
Yes,
Is that?
yes, which is again part of NBU.
Right, okay.
Okay. Any other questions from council members? Any questions from anyone in the audience concerning this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2017-29?
Heidi,
aye.
Blinker.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, ordinance 2017-30.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from GB to R3, Real American Development LLC petitioner.
Okay, we have had a request from the petitioner to withdraw this ordinance. Do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Mr. Campbell, a second? Okay. Any questions or concerns about withdrawing this ordinance from council people?
That means it's done for now, or is it is it 60 days? It's just withdrawal?
This
So
is
that's just
withdrawn
going-
and-
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
I thought so.
Any questions from anybody in the audience about withdrawing this ordinance? Okay, so we just need a, we just need a voice vote on this?
Voice would be adequate
Okay.
to withdraw it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Okay, withdrawn. Okay, next one, ordinance 2017-31.
An ordinance for appropriation of local option highway user tax funds, County Wheel Tax Fund 2490.
Okay, Mr. Clinker,
I move we hear ordinance 2017-31.
Mr. Heidi?
Second.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Jones.
Madam President, council members, excuse me. Before you have an ordinance to appropriate our wheel tax money. Typically, we get this to you a little bit earlier in the year, but this past year, we received a community crossings grant from NDOT. Part of that grant, we had supplied 3 potential projects to use. NDOT finally selected one, and now we're using these funds as our match for that particular project, which is the South Street and the Columbia Street resurfacing.
Okay. Are there any questions from council members?
Kind of. Now, when you say match, we'll be putting up what, $920,000, and they'll be matched by how much?
Well, we received $1 million on the grant,
I think we did okay.
so we're getting twice
Sounds
the
good.
project for.
Okay.
Those 2 projects will take up the entire sum. I mean, there's
Yes,
nothing going to be left over.
Yeah, it'll chew it up pretty quick.
Okay. Any questions from anyone in the audience on this ordinance? Seeing none, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2017-31?
Heidi,
Aye.
Clinker.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, and concerning this ordinance, we need to set a public hearing for this ordinance for October 2nd at 6:31. Can I have a motion to,
So moved.
okay?
Second.
Second, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, public hearing. Next one, ordinance 2017-32.
An ordinance for appropriation of economic development income tax funds, edit fund number 2090.
Okay, Mr. Jones?
And Mike Jones, controller.
Madam
This-
President.
Why
I
don't
move
we
that
put
we-
it on the
Oh,
floor?
I'm sorry. We need to put it on the floor. Okay, let's have a motion to put this on the floor.
We hear and consider ordinance
And we have a second?
2017-32.
Second, okay, thank you. Okay, now, Mr. Jones.
A little quick here.
This particular ordinance, I'm asking to appropriate $500,000 for the purchase of real estate on McCarty Lane that we're going to use to relocate our maintenance, street department and central maintenances. When we set the budget in October, we didn't know that this opportunity was going to present itself, and as it turned out, it did present itself, and we took advantage, so I would like to appropriate that, and then that'll make everything in balance budgetary.
Okay, questions from council members? Questions from anybody in the audience on this ordinance? Okay, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2017-32?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Campbell?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, and we also need to set a public hearing for this ordinance for October 2nd at 6:32. Mr.
So
Blinker.
moved.
Mr. Campbell.
It's 7:02. Good.
6:32.
6:32. We have one at 6:31 and one at 6:32.
Yeah, I'm still on the whole.
Okay,
31 and a half.
okay. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. There are no resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Any reports of standing committees?
I see we have an appointment, and I wanted to check and see if we could add some names to that. If there's going to be
Where's the love?
Thanks,
Okay, that appointment we'll do later in the meeting.
I move that council appointment be for Mr. Lon Heidi for a 4-year term to the Lua Board.
Okay, do we have a second for that?
Second.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Do we have that done? All right, reports of special committees.
None.
Okay, we don't, no reports from the mayor. Miscellaneous and new business. Okay, we have 2017 compliance of statement of benefits for tax abatement, Fiber Hotel Real Estate. Mr. Carson will speak to that.
Good evening, Dennis Carson, Economic Development Director. You have a compliance before you for Fiber Hotel. This has been reviewed by the Redevelopment Commission and passed to be approved by the City Council. They have met and exceeded their pledges on investment and also job creation and retention.
Okay, any questions or concerns about that? Okay, let's have, do a roll call? Oh, we need a motion.
Motion to find them in compliance.
In compliance and a
Second.
second, okay. Any questions or concerns? Okay, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote?
Sure. Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Campbell?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Compliance approved.
Okay, the next thing is we need to set a public hearing for the City of Lafayette 2018 budget and the GLPTC budget for Thursday, October 5th at 5 o'clock here in these chambers. We have a motion,
So moved.
so moved, and a second by...
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, reports of councilmen, anything there? Okay, time for public comment. It's not time for anyone from the audience who'd like to speak. Please state your name and address. You're limited to 3 minutes, and please be respectful and courteous to everyone. Anybody for public comment?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Oh.
My name is Bill Miller.
I live at 8143 Oak State Road 25 North, and I've been here several times to talk to you about stopping the stone quarry. The Roger Group has finally filed. We will be going to the BZA September 27th of this month. I've given you a guideline. If anybody here would like to write a letter to the BZA in oppose of the stone quarry, we'd appreciate it. And I've given you reasons for Lafayette to oppose the stone quarry. I know you don't really concern about 10 miles away, but the Taze River, if you look at your map, it starts in Virginia and goes all the way to Missouri, and it crosses right over where they're going to be digging the stone quarry. And that's where Lafayette gets their water. What will it do to Lafayette water? Will it drop the table? Will it contaminate the water? You know, I can't answer that. And I don't think they can either. But anyway, it's your drinking water. You got some of the best water in the whole United States. It could be in danger. The other thing is the flooding. They're going to put an overburden up about a mile long, football field wide, and 70 feet tall. What will that do to the Wabash River when it floods? It's going to flood it up, and coming downstream, it's going to pick up speed. And the outer banks are going to do more erosion. And for Lafayette, who's spending a lot of money, you're in the millions, of fixing up the Wabash River, what is it going to do to the Wabash River here? Will all that limestone in there will do to the river? Will it kill the fish? Will it kill the plants in the river? I can't answer that question, but we can go back and look in the history, and there's been history of it killing the fish and the plants. Those are some of the concerns for Lafayette. So if you want to write a letter to the BZA, we'd appreciate it. And anybody in the audience, if you would like to write a letter to the BZA, I have the guidelines here, and you can pick them up for me afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller, for your comments. Any other comments from the audience?
May I ask who our representatives to the Board of Zoning Appeals are?
I don't know that we have anybody on the Tippecanoe County Board of Zoning Appeals.
Not a council member,
No, no council member.
None? Thank you.
but I can give you who's the members of the actual BZA.
Good.
So, okay.
Since Lafayette has their own separate
Yeah.
Board of Zoning Appeals, we
Would
don't,
it be appropriate for this particular group to direct the city clerk to write a letter with our feelings toward about this particular situation?
I think it'd be more appropriate for each individual council member to make, because it's not really an official type of impact to the city of Lafayette, and we haven't been presented with anything, so, you know, I believe it'd be appropriate for each individual council member if they
Thank
have
you.
certain feelings.
When is the meeting? What time is it? And where?
27th.
Wednesday, September.
The meeting is September 27th. It's the fourth Wednesday, and it's at 6 o'clock. The BZA was at 7. This next month, they're starting at 6. It's a change in time.
Is it the Tippecanoe room in the county building?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you- And then you're more than welcome to come and speak, too. You can either write a letter or come and speak.
Is that the same night that we would have a caucus? We will have a meeting that is scheduled for ourselves.
Same time.
At 6:30.
Oh, okay.
Of course, Mr. Heidi's very quick, and he would probably be able to run down there that fast, but
Flash.
we may not be able to be there, Bill.
Well, in the case, I said we'd appreciate a letter.
Thank you.
I'm sure his mom will be there.
Your mom. My mother had been dead for 35 years.
You'll say Mr. Clinker, yes.
Okay, any other people from the audience who would like to make public comment? Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Yep.
Opposed?